Hello and welcome to Friday's Hood News. I'm Matthew Sivia.
And I'm Jessica Hall. Coming up on today's show,
The NHS looks set to ban smoking on its doorstep.
the university wins a top national award.
And what to do if you drop your phone down the loo. But first,
West Yorkshire Police have started a campaign to protect those wanting to enjoy the festive period. The scheme looks to protect those who may be in danger on nights out. Conor Criscoli has more.
Christmas is obviously a time where you have the opportunity to relax and enjoy yourself with family and friends. But West Yorkshire Police are striving to make people aware of the dangers of overconsumption of alcohol over the festive period, such as drink driving, theft of valuables and domestic violence. They're increasing patrols around town centres on nights out and have employed a street team handing out leaflets and flyers and even going to the length to help revellers acquire a taxi home safely after a night out. Hopefully, these increased measures will ensure that everyone has a safe and happy holidays.
getting around during the festive period can be difficult. With a harsh winter set to be coming along, commuters can usually expect problems. If that wasn't bad enough, one of the area's key transport links will suffer cancellations. Sean Keogh reports.
Train users are being advised to double-check their travel details after the announcement that Northern Rail services to Manchester Victoria are being cancelled over the festive period. This disruption is due to begin after the last service on Christmas Eve and isn't expected to end until January the 2nd. The cause for the cancellations are to allow for major improvement at the station and is taking place over the holidays due to the expectation that few commuters will be using the service. Passengers are being advised to arrange alternative forms of transportation, although it is not yet known if there will be a coach replacement service.
A demolition of a building in the town centre was postponed for a day due to a reported gas leak. Liam Slater reports.
The former YMCA building has had its demolition halted after reports of a gas leak on the site. Engineers on site have confirmed the leak was caused when contractors damaged a main, but the site is now safe and work continues. The building was home to some historic architecture, but the council found the cost of its upkeep was too much. The planned demolition now continues, and once finished, the site will become a car park.
The University of Huddersfield's student union has served its last pint. The bar closed yesterday after it was revealed that it has been losing at least £100,000 a year since 2008. The SU will move to the university's brand new Learning and Leisure Centre, but the bar will not be present. This will result in the loss of 40 part-time jobs.
In other news, Kirklees is one of many councils to throw themselves behind NHS plans to put a stop to all forms of smoking on hospital grounds. The new initiative is to promote healthier conduct around recovering patients. Conor Criscoli has more.
The NHS is considering a proposal to end smoking on NHS hospital grounds, particularly outside the entrances to hospitals. The idea comes after several formal complaints from visitors were recorded about the amount of second-hand smoke that they were being forced to inhale whilst visiting. The move has been backed by several health watchdogs, including ASH, whose chief executive saying allowing smoking sends entirely the wrong message. One vocal supporter of the plan is Rory Dayton, the director of Healthwatch Kirklees.
I think there's a general principle that it doesn't make sense for us to be smoking in hospitals and around areas of public health. I think the NHS has a £20 billion deficit in its budget by the end of this decade, and that we need to look at ways of dealing with that deficit and changing the way that we work, changing the way that we live and the way that we think. And I think perhaps smoking cessation is one of the things that we should be doing around that.
Since July 2007, all smoking in public areas has been relegated outside anyway, but the total removal of smoking facilities on site is the boldest move since then to advocate public health in this area. But do people really think that it will benefit them?
I think that should happen. That they shouldn't be. Well, it's costing more money from the NHS, isn't it, when they're damaging themselves?
Obviously, people that have been smoking for so long and they're getting treatment to get off cigarettes, off smoking, then what's the point of them going out and having a cigarette, having a break?
I think that patients should be able to do what they want. If they want to smoke, it's their life. Yeah, it's unhealthy for them, but it's their decision to smoke, so I don't think it should be banned.
So while the political elite all agree with the plans, citizens, the one it actually affects, maybe not so much. Conor Criscoli reporting.
Well, hopefully that is a step in the right direction for our nation's health.
And something else that could help us become healthier are e-cigarettes. They are becoming ever more popular with the public. The increase in popularity is leading to a growing presence of e-cigarette shops on our high streets. But why is this? I went along to find out more. In Huddersfield, the rise of e-cig shops is taking a big impact on smokers. Last week, new shop EV Cigs opened alongside other electronic smoking shops in the town centre. The shop sells a brand new range of e-cigs, including various flavours and strengths of nicotine. The new e-cig product is thought to contain fewer chemicals than the amount in tobacco-based products. We went along to speak to Adam Bradley, manager of EV Cigs.
In these, there's polyglycerine, a glycerine, and there's nicotine. So you still get your nicotine kick, but for less chemicals. Straight away, you can get them with various flavours. In this store here, we have 100 flavours, as well as 7 different colours in pens, so people can mix and match. With a pack of cigarettes as well, it's going to cost you £7 a day for 20. These only cost, we work out on average, it's cost you about 30p a day with these.
E-cigs are thought to be healthier than cigarette smoking, but is this just a new trend? With a range of nicotine flavours including mango, watermelon and spearmint, do people smoke e-cigs simply because they taste nicer? New flavours are now available in the shop EV Cigs, such as vodka and sambuca, but is this just promoting other dirty habits as well, such as drinking alcohol? We asked the smokers of Huddersfield what they think to the increase of e-cig shops, and will they be buying one themselves and switching as an alternative to tobacco.
I prefer smoking. I find e-cigs, whereas you get the nicotine, you don't feel it as way you feel with smoking when it hits the back of your throat, and I prefer that when I smoke.
No, I don't, because it runs out more quickly.
Personally, I won't be buying an e-cigarette because I prefer the taste of tobacco and the smoking experience as a whole.
Although the majority of smokers in Huddersfield prefer smoking cigarettes to vapours, we asked Graham Ormond, a healthcare professional from the University of Huddersfield, on whether vapours are really a healthier alternative to smoking and will eventually help people say goodbye to their bad habits.
There is something that people aren't quite ready to give up. They want to give up for several reasons. They're not ready, and this, it would appear, is a useful first step. Although I think we're still a lot of the vapor type e-cigs still in their infancy. They may have equally as bad impact on health. Only time will tell on that. But on the evidence that we've got presently, I think it's probably is a better thing than somebody smoking.
In the long run, due to the rise of e-cig shops, will this benefit the smoking community in the Huddersfield town and persuade them to join in with the new craze, or will people stick to their unhealthy ways?
The government has sold off a huge amount of student debt to a private debt company, but it seems not everybody agrees. Matthew Gage has more.
The government has confirmed that it has sold off £900 million worth of student loans to private debt management consortium Arudio Student Loans for £160 million. The sale will affect 250,000 students who took out student loans between the years of 1990 to 1998 and who are still paying back the money they borrowed.
I think it's ridiculous. I think if you sign into a sort of contract from the beginning, then you should expect for it to stay the same.
If it means you're going to end up paying more than what you thought you were, and that's not what you signed up to, then obviously I don't think that's fair.
It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, when people take out loans, they should, know exactly what they've got to pay back.
This plan will inevitably result in a devastating financial blow to students and graduates for decades down the line. Those who would otherwise have paid off their student loans would still be indebted to whichever private entity owns the loan book. Nosheen Dad is the president of Huddersfield Student Union.
SU stance is pretty simple, really. We were against it. We're still against it, but there's nothing we can do. It's been sold, between the period of 1990 to 1999. We're not getting that back. But the SU's sort of stance on it at the moment is to let our members know what's happened, make sure they're aware of what's happened and what the repercussions of this could be for those people who took the loans out between that period, and just to make our members aware that this is something that the government could potentially do with their bit of the loan book as well, and it could affect them in the very near future.
The government has stressed that the terms and conditions of the loan will remain the same and that borrowers will be protected. The student loans company will continue to deal with the loans until Arudio Student Finance takes over in a couple of months' time. However, how this will affect future generations of borrowers remains to be seen.
Bad news for former students, but good news for future students, Jess.
Yeah, the University of the Huddersfield had successfully beaten off the opposition to win the prestigious University of the Year award. Hannah Bell has more.
The University of Huddersfield have been awarded the Times Higher Education Award. The University of the Year award is awarded by the Times Higher Education Supplement, which is the professional magazine for the university sector. 17 awards are given, but the University of the Year award is the most hotly contested, with 64 universities being shortlisted. The winners also included Universities College of London, Cardiff, Southampton and Edinburgh University. The top award went to Huddersfield.
Well, in terms of winning the University of the Year award, it seriously raises our profile, particularly internationally. They're always looking for that edge, our international students. For our home students to know that there's excellence on their doorstep, they don't need to wander anywhere else. Why go to another university when you've got the University of the Year on your doorstep?
To celebrate winning the award, a civic ceremony has been held at the Town Hall. Guests included the Mayor of Kirklees, the Vice-Chancellor of the University and the head of the Student Union. The reception ran on Monday from 12:30pm to 2:30pm and guests enjoyed a buffet while discussing the university's achievement.
I think what it will do is to maintain the prominence of Huddersfield and its university in the forefront of academic minds, so that when people are considering a university place, somewhere for research or development, then Huddersfield will be one of the first things that comes up because of continued success over several years.
The award will have a great implication on Huddersfield and the Kirklees area's economic future, bringing new students and investments to the town.
Most people would associate binge drinking as a problem amongst the younger demographic. However, it seems that those drinking the most are somewhat older. Our reporter Catherine Peart brings us more.
Binge drinking, a term largely associated with teenagers and young adults who like to go out and party on a weekend in town centres up and down the country. This isn't the biggest drink problem Britain faces. The real problem comes in the form of the hidden drinkers. Middle-aged men and women are at an increased risk as they are drinking from over half a bottle of wine a night to de-stress from their hectic lifestyles. Across the region, there are a number of support groups that are tackling the issue of alcohol misuse, and it is found that there is a rise in the number of people from a professional or middle-class background that are attending these meetings for support. The number of alcohol-related hospital admissions has more than doubled in the last 10 years, official figures show. These people are not realising how the alcohol is affecting their bodies from long-term misuse.
The elderly aren't often thought of as being physically attractive, but a new study suggests that a little bit of exercise a week could ward off a visit to the doctors. Our reporter Joe Condren hit the gym to find out more.
The British Journal of Sports Medicine have released a new study following 3,500 healthy people at or around their retirement age. Exercise with older members of the public seems to be more beneficial when it comes to their health. Top Bodies in Huddersfield offer a discounted membership to everyone over the age of 55, hoping to entice the older community inside.
One of my customers, he didn't actually start training till he was 53. He's now nearly 74. And in his words, he said most of his friends have had it. You know, they're not physically fit, they're not quite as mentally capable as they were. You know, and he still comes in, he trains 5 times a week, he's still quite strong.
Researchers believe that late starters still have much to benefit from short amount of exercise, increasing their value of life. Within his current interest, it seems like older people are willing to become more active.
In order to be fit, there's nothing else you can do. I mean, dieting isn't enough, really. So you have to do both. You have to train and you have to diet. I feel stronger, I feel fitter, I've got a lot more energy. I feel great.
Huddersfield offers many activities such as yoga, martial arts and a wide array of sports, all related to exercise, and nearly all of them accommodate towards the older members of society. With businesses hoping that recent studies get the old generation out of their slippers and into their running shoes. I'm Joseph Condren, reporting.
Sorry about that, I was meant to say physically active, not physically attractive.
Moving on, have you ever dropped your mobile phone into the toilet? Well, if you have, you will know how stressful it can be. You immediately fear the worst. However, has one student at the University of Huddersfield found a solution? I went to find out more. Once upon a time, hardly anyone owned a mobile phone. Nowadays, we can't imagine our lives without them, making it all the more stressful when the worst happens. However, this may no longer be a problem, thanks to a student at the University of Huddersfield who says she's found out how to fix a wet phone.
Supervisor this year asked me to look at some methods of taking water out of mobile phones after he dropped his phone in the toilet. We found out that it was quite a common thing to happen. There's quite a lot of methods out there on the internet, and he wanted me to scientifically test which was the best method. Well, I tested silica gel, I tested lots of different types of rice, I used a lamp and a vacuum cleaner, and from those tests silica gel came out the best because it removed 100% of the water. I then went on to test out basmati rice because we felt that most people wouldn't have silica gel in their cupboard. I used an actual mobile phone for this one. I wet the mobile phone, put it in the tub with the rice. After 24 hours, I think it's 75% of the water is out of the phone, and after 48 hours, 100% of the water is out of the phone.
Don't be reaching for the rice just yet though, as we spoke to a local phone repairman who says the discovery is nothing new and isn't foolproof.
Lots of people try the rice method. They put the device into rice for a couple of days, then it dries out. So same theory. In my experience, it doesn't work.
So perhaps our phones aren't safe from the water just yet, but either way, maybe it wouldn't hurt to leave a tub of basmati in the bathroom, just in case. On to sport now. Huddersfield Town will take on Brighton and Hove Albion away at the AmH Stadium this weekend. Town will be looking to bounce back after suffering a 1-0 defeat at home to Reading last weekend. Billy Sharp headed the winner in the 32nd minute, and it proved enough to secure them the 3 points. Kick-off is 3 p.m. on Saturday. Moving on to Rugby Union now, and things are looking very good for Huddersfield Rugby Union Club. All 4 of the club's squads are top of their respective leagues. The first team, shown here against Bradford and Bingley, have made a remarkable turnaround in the last 12 months, having been bottom of the league this time last year. The season will restart in January, following the Christmas break.
I'm sure everybody is hoping for a white Christmas, but what does this weekend's weather have in store? With the latest, here's Daisy Taplin.
We're very clearly in the winter months with highs of 8 degrees, but I'm sure that most of us would agree that it feels a lot colder. After a dry afternoon, the rain clouds will start to appear and we'll be in for a damp night. And it looks like the same again tomorrow. It looks like a relatively dry morning and early afternoon, but expect showers towards the evening. The temperature is slightly higher than yesterday at 9 degrees, but still feels like it's around that 0 mark. So if you're partaking in the annual tradition of panic buying Christmas presents this Saturday, it might be a good idea to wear a coat. And finally, Sunday is set to be a very cold one, with temperatures of around 5 degrees, and there's also a very small chance of snow. So we might still be looking at a white Christmas. That's your weekend weather. Back to Matt and Jess.
That's all we've got time for tonight. Jess, have a lovely Christmas.
You too, Matt.
Well, I've been Matthew Sivia.
And I've been Jessica Hall. Have a good Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Here are some festive pictures from around Huddersfield. Enjoy.